We are live. All right. I'm going to wait for a couple of people to join in me. Let's go to share screen. Share screen. Share screen. Okay. Let's do Facebook. Okay, so we want to search for oh yeah, StreamYard. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Okay, there's 5 people in here. My brother's in here. And tonight I'm going to talk about a video I'm getting ready to make probably either later on tonight or later on this week. So this version is going to be for the live studio audience so you guys can engage. Tonight's topic, I did kind of have one picked out called Sub 5 Men. So what it is I found this TV series called The Booth at the End. And there's 2 characters playing off of each other. There's one called James and the other one's called Willem. And what I thought because I kind of talked about it a little bit when I did my video called Selling Your Soul, because in this series, these people, they go in there and they talk to this guy they call the man. And that's what they call him. So I want to welcome everybody to my live stream. So I did a thing called Selling Your Soul to the Devil. This series, The Booth at the End, they have this character they call the man. And he's kind of a cross between Lucifer and the Godfather. Because when it is with the Godfather, you come in, you ask for a favor. Well, he'll expect a favor in return. You got to do something for me. Whereas Lucifer just grants you a wish. You go and talk to him. Hey, you got a deal. But then he'll come to collect at some point. Well, the character Lucifer in the TV series doesn't necessarily come to collect. The Faustian bargain, yeah, he will collect. But it's a really good series. And I'm just letting a few more people join us. I got 4 people in here right now. 4 people. I want to welcome everybody. Like I said, I'm not a professional live streamer. We're supposed to have some severe thunderstorms, but it's dark outside, but nothing's happening. Oh, we had a few rumblings, a little bit of thunder, a little bit of rain, but nothing to get excited about. I now got 7 people in here. So there was 2 characters in this series called The Booth at the End. The first one is named James. Now, James goes in, and let's pull James up here. Okay, I got it pulled up. Well, well, it's not what I originally wanted to do, but no, no, sort of. No, no, come on. No. Well, that's just him. Let's see. There I am. Okay, that's the best I can do. Okay. So we have this character. This is James. He's one of the characters. You're breaking up occasionally, maybe the storm's audio and latency. We have a weak Wi-Fi. It's probably the storms. I'm going to do a hard copy edition of this. So if this don't work out, I'm going to make a hard copy and upload it later. So this version allows everyone to engage. No comments yet. Okay. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, this is James. James, I saw a tiny movie about a dormant computer from the 80s coming back to take over the world by using AI. It's called Megan 2.0. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, Megan 2.0. I want to see that. Oh, yeah. I seen the original Megan. Oh, she's a badass. But I've heard the reviews on Megan are it's a rip off of T2, Terminator 2. It's like that's kind of what I've heard. That's what I've heard. I don't know. But today's topic is sub 5 minutes. I pulled up this guy. The guy you see on the screen. They call him Jason on the series called The Booth at the End. So the topic, because I did a video called Selling Your Soul, and the thing is about the booth at the end, when the people come in and talk to this man, he's going to grant them a wish, but in order for the wish to be granted, they have to carry out a task. So he will assign them a task, and their wish don't get granted until they complete the task. So everybody that comes in, like Jason here, he came in, his son has leukemia. The guy you'd see on the screen, the character's name is Jason. Okay? And his son has leukemia. He comes in to see the man. So I want my son to be cured of leukemia. So the man in this TV show, The Booth at the End, tells Jason, in order for your wish to be fulfilled, you must take the life of a little girl, someone else's child. So, because in the video, Selling Your Soul, I asked the question, what are you willing to do? How far would you go to protect a loved one? Now, Anakin Skywalker failed the task because he thought he was protecting Padme, and he ended up becoming Darth Vader. But Jason here is a good guy. He's well-dressed. He's a professional. He's happily married, got 2 children. And his son has leukemia. He's got a little boy and a little girl. And he is asking the man in the booth to cure his son. And the man in the booth, in order to do that, he tells Jason, you must find a child, a little girl, and you have to take her life. And so, and then the man also requests progress reports on how they're doing. And Jason here struggled with this because he says, well, I can't do that. But he says, I want my son to be cured of leukemia. So Jason here, the man you're seeing on the screen, his character name is Jason. And all throughout his little ordeal with the man, you got to watch the booth at the end. But if you look at Jason, he's well-dressed, married, good education, got a couple of kids. He's got everything going for him. And he's in total remorse because he doesn't want to carry out this task. I mean, he does make an attempt. He tries to run the girl over. And then we're going to show you the second man here because the topic is sub-5 men. Now, Jason here is not a sub-5 man. Now, I don't know his backstory. So I'm going to create a backstory for Jason because just judging by the fact that he's married with kids and he's remorseful, did the man give him any proof of concept before he agreed? No, the man, he's not required to do anything. He just got, the series takes off. He's got a reputation. When people come in to see him, they know who he is, and he's granted wishes for other people. But in order for that wish to be granted, you have to carry out a task. Jason here, the guy you're seeing on the screen, do you know about the firefighter massacre in Idaho? No, I don't know anything about it. So Jason here was assigned to take the life of someone else's child, basically. And Jason here struggles with this because it goes against his principles. So in the series, the booth at the end, it's kind of like selling your soul, but it's not enough because the man in the booth requires you to do a favor. Now, in the end, Jason ends up saving this little girl's life because this girl was kidnapped by another guy. Jason found out. He went in and ended up rescuing her and returning her to her parents. So Jason, in the end, does the right thing. Jason, so let's create a back before we introduce Willem, because I'm going to compare the two men. I'm going to make up a backstory. Can you look at Jason? He's got a shirt, tie. He's got a wife and 2 kids, a college education, a good paying job. This is your captain speaking. Buckle up. Yeah, I forgot to say that. You're right. Yeah, this is your captain speaking. Buckle up. I forgot. I totally forgot. Yeah, I did forget to say that, didn't I? That's my catchphrase. So Jason here, the man you're seeing on the screen. So I'm going to invent a backstory. Let's say Jason grew up in a 2-parent home, because if you're looking at where he's at now, I'm guessing he had 2 loving parents. Now, this is a fictitious character that I'm making up a backstory for. So he probably grew up in a 2-parent household. He probably went out for football, basketball, sports. Middle school and high school, he went out for sports. He maybe he sat at the cool kids table, maybe not. But he probably did go out for sports. Probably made the honor roll, always had good grades, at least A's and B's. Because he had to get into college, so he probably got a partial, if not a full scholarship for school. Even if he didn't get a full scholarship, he had to work his way through school. He may have some student loans to pay back, but he managed to get into college. This guy here manages to graduate from college, meet a young lady, fall in love, and have a couple of kids and raise a family. Jason here has been a normal, outstanding person. Jason here is well-groomed. He's got a shirt and tie. he is not a slob. Now, Jason here was assigned the task of finding someone else's kid and taking their life, which he doesn't do. He ends up saving their life. Wyatt says you're breaking up. Yeah, I have a bad Wi-Fi. I can see that. That's okay. We're going to do a hard copy of this. All 10 episodes are on Tubi. Oh, are they? Because I found them they're on YouTube and Amazon Prime. But they are on YouTube. All 10 episodes are on YouTube. This is a really good show. Hello, a little late. That's okay. That's okay. I'm doing my best to read the comments. I want to welcome all 10 of you. There's 10 people in here. I understand the signal is weak, but there's a storm in the area that could be causing part of the signal to be weak. So again, this is Jason. He made the honor roll, Dean's List, he got to go to college. So keep Jason in mind. This is Jason. Now let's go to Willem. Let's go to Facebook. Now we're going to introduce you to Willem. We're going to talk about sub 5 men. Now Jason here has the world's his oyster. I mean, he's a good-looking guy. He's an outstanding citizen, right? But Jason here made choices early on in life to study hard and work his ass off to be able to go to college, work his ass off again, and support a wife and 2 kids. Now let's go to Willem. We're going to introduce you to Willem. Let's see. Let's find Willem. There's a difference between Jason and Willem. Willem is a sub 5 man, and we're going to introduce you to him here. That's a good picture. Okay, there is Willem. Now, Willem here doesn't have Jason's looks. Willem here represents what I would call the sub 5 guy. Now, in the series, the booth at the end, we're going to start off, if he is a sub 5, then I'm a sub 1. Well, this is just a fictitious character, by the way. This is, so Willem here was assigned the task of protecting this little girl, but he learned that there's another man after her, so he decides to kidnap the girl instead of notifying the family and the authorities to put extra protection on her to keep this man from doing, because Jason did try to run her over, or did he? Swerve at the last second and miss her on purpose, despite Willem pulling her out of the way. So Willem here becomes a janitor in this little girl's school. Willem here decides to be a gardener at the neighboring house where this girl lived. So Willem here, Willem is not a good guy, but we're going to tell you what Willem did. So in the TV show, Willem kidnaps the girl to protect her from Jason. Then he figures out where Jason lives, because he figured out who Jason is. So he goes to Jason's house, attempts to kill Jason so he won't hurt the girl. Well, so this man has kidnapped a child. He's willing to take the life of another person. He ends up getting killed in the end because Jason ends up killing Willem in self-defense. And then Jason goes to find the girl and returns her back to her family, and his son is cured of leukemia. Despite the fact Jason didn't completely fulfill his task, but maybe he passed the test. See what I'm saying? So let's talk about Willem. Now, Jason is well-dressed, well-groomed. You look at Willem. Look, look at how he's dressed. He's dressed like a slob. He's not wearing clean clothes. He looks run down. Now, what decisions did Willem make to become a sub 5 guy? Not just sub 5 in appearance, but sub 5 in personality. He's a sub 5 man because he has no morals. He's willing to kidnap a child, willing to take a human life. So what decisions could Willem have made up to this point to become a loser? And Willem decides, hey, I want to be a hero. In this TV show, The Booth at the end, Willem is all about Willem. Jason, all he could think about was his wife and kids. All Jason could think about was being a good husband, being a good father to his children. Jason was not interested in being a hero. Willem is interested in being a hero. I want to be a hero. So I think Willem had this in mind to kidnap the girl, kill Jason, and return the girl and say, look, I'm a hero. I found her. And the guy who tried to kill her, he's gone. But that's not what ended up happening. So what decisions could Willem have made early on in his childhood to make him out to where, because when he approached the man in the booth, he said, I want to get laid by this centerfold. He's always dreamed of having a family because deep down, he envies people who are married with children. And Willem here is all about Willem. And Jason is all about his family. The two are very different. So Willem is sub 5. Now, what decisions could Willem have made to build up to this? Maybe Willem in his childhood always took the easy path. See, there's two roads. One is wide. That's the easy path, the path of least resistance. That's the path that Willem took. Jason took the other path. That's hard. He studied. He worked his ass off. Probably got on the basketball team, football team. Maybe he even sat at the cool kids table. Willem took the other path. Even though they both started out from two-parent households, middle class, they both had the same upbringing. Willem may have had good parents even. But despite all that, everything that was given to Willem, Willem made different choices than Jason. Willem decided, I'm going to breeze my way through school. C's and D's and F's. He didn't care. He didn't do his homework. He just flip-flopped through school. I'm making this up because I don't know Willem's backstory, so it's a fictitious character. Willem might had no father or bad father. That's a possibility. Like I said, he's a fictitious character. So I'm just making up a backstory. And I'm giving Willem and Jason the same upbringing, but they both make different choices. Jason chooses hard work. Jason chooses to do his homework. Jason chooses to go out for basketball, football, maybe even get at the cool kids table. Maybe not. Willem doesn't do his homework. Willem watches TV 3 hours a night. Willem would be the type of kid growing up, he'd be playing video games all day, not studying, don't give a shit, just flip-flop through school, you know. And then he's a social outcast in school. He doesn't sit at the cool kids table. Girls don't go out with him because he's not wearing a leather jacket. He's not doing anything at all. He's doing nothing. He's not even getting good grades. Jason, on the other hand, is on the honor roll. Jason probably wore a leather jacket. Jason worked hard. Willem did not. It starts early on, from elementary school and then all the way through high school. So If you think you're a sub-5 man today, you have to ask yourself, what choices did you make early on in your childhood? Now, can you escape this image that you see on the screen? Yeah. If Willem would just get his hair done, get rid of the mustache, get some different threads, shed about 20 pounds, learn a skill set, Willem here could turn from a sub-5 to at least a 7.5. Yeah, there is hope for Willem. But Willem just got selfish, and I'm guessing he never got married and he's never experienced marriage. Girls do not date this guy because he's a bum. He chooses the path of least resistance. Now, I'm just making this up. Like, I don't know the backstory, so I'm making up a backstory. How Willem could have possibly got to the point where he's got to go see the man to even get a date with a centerfold because he thinks that's all he can get. He's lucky to get the girl to even talk to him. No women would go out with him. He doesn't think he'll ever get married and have kids and have a loving family. Even if he was raised in a good family, Willem chose to be lazy. Willem chose the easy path. So, there you go. The episodes on Tubi, yeah, they're on YouTube for free. I watch them on Amazon Prime because I get the best quality picture when I'm watching Amazon Prime. So keep those comments coming in because we're talking about sub-5 man. We're talking about Willem here. He's a character, a fictitious character. And so I'm kind of making up the story of what I think Willem's childhood was like. What led up to Willem making the life choices he made? Why is he a sub-5 man? Why is he a loser? Why is he a bum? What separates him and Jason? Even if they had the same beginning, they were equal. Now, I could say Willem came from a divorced home. He had a bad father or no dad at all, where one of his parents was a drug addict, alcoholic. I could have said that about Willem, but I decided to give Willem and Jason the same beginning, kind of like a Monopoly game. You start out equal, but you make choices in life. So I gave Willem a backstory of he's just like Jason, but he made different choices. Now, there are those, I understand, who grew up with single-parent households, abusive parents. One of them's either drug addict, alcoholic. I get that. Willem, he might have had nerd hobbies, video games, comic books. Hey, that's a good one. Yeah, Willem, he does come across as someone who would play video games and read comic books. Jason would read other books, maybe not William Shakespeare, but I see Jason reading the Wall Street Journal, maybe Edgar Allan Poe, as far as leisure stuff. But I don't see Jason reading comic books. No. Jason is more likely to read anything self-help. Anything from The Secret to even Joel Osteen, any self-help book in that genre. I think Jason would read that genre. I've also discovered that I bet their musical tastes are different. I'll bet Willem here probably listens to hardcore rock and roll that talks about death, suicide. You know what kind of rock music I'm talking about. I know people that listen to some very hardcore rock. I mean, it's so bad. It's so negative. I was like, oh my God. these people are talking about killing themselves. Well, I'm going to be careful what I say. This is YouTube. I didn't think about that till just now. But you know what I'm saying. These are the choices that people make, even the music you listen to, or the kind of clothes you wear. It says something about you. Are you a sub 5 person, or do you have character? Are you cultured? Whereas Jason probably listens to normal stuff, Guns N' Roses, normal rock music, or, he's not an opera kind of guy, but Jason's a normal. Whereas Willem here listens to very hardcore, very negative music. And you know what I'm talking about. I've discovered that sub 5 people listen to very negative, which has an impact on them. So even me, I'm going, well, that kind of says something about them. When I come across someone who's listening to something a little more cultured or normal, I think of them as, wow, they've got a good education. Or Mike listens to Andrew Tate vids. Maybe I'm not a big fan of Andrew Tate. No way. I don't really care for the guy. They call the people that follow Andrew Tate tater tots. No, that's the lingo. For followers of Andrew Tate, tater tots. So I intend to do a hard copy edition of this because the live stream is not doing too good. I see the Wi-Fi signal is very poor. Very, very poor. That's okay. I'll redo this video hard copy and upload it. I just want to do this version so I can engage the audience. Because we're talking about Willem and Jason. Willem is a sub 5, so I invented a backstory for him. Made it up. My guess is why why would you kidnap someone's kid? Why would Willem? What choices did Willem make in life to end up where he's at? How about you out there? What choices are you making in life? What choices am I making in life? I've made a lot of choices in life, some of them good, some of them bad. You out there, maybe you've made good choices and bad choices. Every decision you make has consequences. Let me ask you this. Do you really want to end up like Willem? Do you feel like you are Willem? If you do, what can you do to change that? Lots of things you can do. Get in shape, get some better threads, cut your hair, work on yourself, pick up a new skill, pick up a hobby, get involved in your community, join a club, Lions Club, Rotary Club, Optimist Club, Shriners, Masons, anything. Get involved. That's what you can do to change it so you don't end up like Willem. If you feel you are Willem, you can change that. Because me, when I see Willem, no, I don't want to. I'm 58. I don't. Could I still end up like Willem? Yeah, if I make some bad choices, I could end up like him. Most certainly. I'd rather be Jason. That's the that's Willem. That's Willem. That's Willem. And there's Willem. Okay. The Booth at the End is a really good show. I can't believe how good it really was. It only lasted 10 episodes. It's really good. I think it's overlooked. It's hard to believe the whole thing takes place in a diner in a booth, and they never leave the booth. This is Jason. As you can see, he's reading a paper, search for kidnapped girls. And Jason is always remorseful. Jason is always thinking of his family, thinking of his son and his wife, and he's not trying to be the hero. Jason has had a good life. Jason made some good choices, but he had to work his ass off. There's Jason. There's Jason. There's the man. So Amanda Bynes said she don't want to be a sub-5 woman anymore. Well, yeah, there are some. I guess it goes both ways. You don't have to be a sub-5 person. You don't. If you ended up there, can you change that? Yes, you can. Anytime. But you have to be willing to put in the work. Jason here had to put in the work. Jason here had to study. He studied, did his homework. He chose the narrow path. You know, that's kind of what separates the haves from the have-nots, I guess, because the haves have to work their butts off. I don't know how Elon Musk spends any time with his kids or his current partner, and because he's working 16 hours a day. My comment gone. If you are born into squalor, you will always be in the holler. No, a person, even if you're born into poverty, Jason, when first saw Jason, he looked a lawman. When first saw, yeah, I can see how you might think so. You mean like a police detective or a lawyer or both? Jason's a good guy, yes, but he's a character. And I invented a background for him based on where this character's at, married with children. He's got a good paying job. Obviously, he's got a good education behind him. He's well groomed. He's taking care of himself. He has a lot of self-confidence. And so, but Willem has no self-confidence. Willem has nothing, no accomplishments. I bet Jason here has trophies. Willem has none. That's why Willem wanted so bad to be a hero. I want to be a hero for once in my life. I want to be a hero. And so it was always about Willem. And so there are sub-5 guys out there, and not just guys, but women. But that can be changed. FBI agent. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah. Yeah, he does look like a G-man. G-man wears suits, you know. I can see that. Absolutely. So Jason had a good life, but he busted his ass to get to where he's at. Are priests sub-5? No. You're only a sub-5 person if you believe yourself to be. Depends on your self-esteem, your confidence. Jason here has probably read a lot of self-help books, but he had to work his butt off. Jason here is not watching 4 hours of TV a day. He probably don't have time. He probably has to get up, get ready for work, go to work, commute back and forth to work, get home, spend time with his wife, spend time with his kids, do some chores around the house, because I'm sure he mow the lawn, putter around the house. Jason here doesn't have time to watch 4 hours of TV a day. Jason here doesn't seem like the type to really be doom scrolling on his phone either. Willem probably doom scrolls. Jason does not. Jason's too busy doing what it is he's got to do. Willem's got all the time in the world. Willem does not have a good work ethic. He doesn't give a shit. Jason does. You see how the two are distinctly different? They may have started out on equal footing, but each of them made life choices. I could have given Willem a very bad beginning, but I chose to put them on equal footing. But I do understand there's people out there born less fortunate. But, you know, a lot of your millionaires and billionaires came out of poverty. Seems to have life together. Yeah, he does. But again, if there's statistics out there that a lot of your wealthy people were born less fortunate. I know that Oprah was born in poverty. Shark Tank's Robert Herjavec was born in extreme poverty. Willem is addicted to Candy Crush, spends his cigarette money on extra turns. If he has any money left from buying cigarettes, I bet he smokes a lot. You're right. And there's guys out there just like Willem. Unfortunately, once you hit that, and if you decide to stay there, because that's the lie from the devil. You're amazing just the way you are. If you think about that phrase, that's really not positive at all. You may think, well, that's a positive statement. No, it's really not. You don't have to change for anybody. Yes, you do. I bet he gambles too. Oh, you mean Willem? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Willem, I bet he buys lottery tickets. Absolutely. Now, did sub-5s used to be incel men? Actually, Willem would be a sub-5 dude, and he's probably an incel. Maybe, maybe not. He may have gotten laid, but not by the kind of woman he would want. I'm just saying. Just saying. Stan Lee grew up poor, became Marvel Comics' best writer of his time. Yeah, a lot of your successful people grew up poor. Robert Herjavec from Shark Tank grew up in poverty, and he was born in Croatia with dirt floors. So, yeah, you can get out of it, but you have to work your ass off. And do you have to sell your soul? No. No, I did a video on that. And that's where I got the idea for this video, is these two characters here. And I saw a pattern here because on the show, they kind of portrayed Willem as totally selfish, scumbucket. I'm going, yeah, that's Hollywood's portrayal of a sub-5 guy. Meanwhile, the hunk, the good-looking guy, gets all the opportunities. That's true. Do you think Willem has a favorite OnlyFans model he subscribes to? Probably. He's a character, but I bet Willem does do OnlyFools. Now, Jason, that doesn't mean Jason doesn't gamble. Jason seems like if he gambled to be more like sports bets. Yeah, betting on sports. But I don't know. Jason seems like he's too committed to his wife and kids and paying the bills and taking care of his family to spend any money on sports betting. He seems too dedicated to his family to do that. So Jason's the type who would move up the corporate ladder. Jason's the type, if he started a business, he would prosper. Because he'll have all the opportunities life has to offer him. Why? Because he's already accomplished. It's kind of like the Matthew effect. To those who have much will be given. To those who have not, much will be taken. That's in the Bible, by the way. Willem may have had one of that, might be the centerfold he wants. May have had the only of that. Willem may have the OF that might be the centerfold he wants. Only fools. Okay. I was trying to read that comment. So, yeah, we're spending a lot of time discussing Willem. But the problem with sub 5 men is society, once you're there, if you don't do anything to change your situation, society's going to just push you down. OnlyFans. Yes. I call it Only Fools. It's my nickname for it. Because only fools will go there. I got better things to do with my time and money. So a lot of sub 5 men, and I hear because I listen to some podcasts, and these incel men, they complain girls don't talk to them, they don't get laid. Well, if they get out of the house, like I did the other day, I went to Springfield. I have a friend who spends all his Social Security on Only Fools and has to borrow milk, bread, sugar, etc. I don't doubt it. On Only Fools, yeah. I don't doubt it one bit. So, FBI and lawyers are interesting to watch because they have to study people personalities. The guy with the orange juice looked like an FBI type. Yeah. This guy here, that's Jason. Jason is well comported. He's well dressed. He's healthy, early 30s, wife and 2 kids, good job, good education. And he struggles with the assignment, the task that was given him. He ends up being the hero in the end, even though he wasn't seeking that. So, yeah. Julia. Was it Julia? Yeah, Jason is definitely, he does seem like the G-Man type. He does. Let's see if I can expand the picture. My favorite show is Law and Order. I've never seen it. I know what it is. I was going to comment on sub 5 men and how society treats them. Once you're there and you don't do anything to change where you're going, you don't hit the gym, you don't take care of yourself, you eat junk food all the time, you spend all your time watching TV, playing video games. Do you have In the Heat of the Night? It's probably streaming somewhere. No, I know what the show is. Archie Bunker played in that show. Well, the guy Carroll O'Connor, who used to play Archie Bunker. I know what it is. But the problem with sub 5 men is once you're there, society, you might as well be invisible. Because these guys, it's highly unlikely they'll ever get raises, promotions. They'll never. Society really treats them badly. Good-looking women won't go out with them. The women they do end up with are the women they really don't want. They have to settle if they get anything at all. They'll never escape poverty because they're not going to be given the same opportunities that people like Jason's going to have. Jason here is taking care of himself. Jason has to work his ass off. Law and Order SVU has a lot of sub-5 men in the stories. No, they probably do. Utes stole a can of tuna. My cousin Vinny. I've heard of it. But like I said, sub-5 men like Willem never amount to anything if they don't change who they are. Society, you'll never escape being a whopper flopper, stocking shelves at Wally World. But guys like Jason, yeah, he'll come in, company will hire him. He's not going to be stocking shelves for very long. Next thing you know, he's a store manager. Why? Partly because of his looks, his education. He's stable with a good home life, wife and 2 kids. Yeah. Herman Munster is a sub-5 man. Yeah. Height doesn't exactly save you from being sub-5. Matter of fact, I knew a guy who was short, barely 5'4", but he was very successful. He escaped sub-5 by dressing up, taking care of himself. He met a beautiful girl, had a couple of kids. He worked for Toyota. Now he's a missionary. He's very prosperous. And he's short. He's only 5'4". He chose the path that Jason took. And he made something of himself. Now I hear some of these incels say it's hopeless because of their height. Bullshit. I know lots of short guys who go out there and crush it because they work their asses off. And they get good-looking girlfriends and they move up the ladder. Why? Because they crush it. They crush it because they work. But if you want to sit around feeling sorry for yourself, like Willem, if you want to be Willem, be Willem. I like Joe Pesci when he ran the rundown apartment and Court made him live in it. Oh, I've heard of that movie. But I like Goodfellas. Oh, Goodfellas. Yes, Joe Pesci is great. I love Joe Pesci. I liked him in the Home Alone movies too. And he also played in Casino. He was good there. I think he played in Moonwalker with Michael Jackson. That's Joe Pesci. Yeah. Did you know that? Joe Pesci was in Moonwalker. Yes, great movie with Joe Pesci. I liked him in Moonwalker. I really did. He played the bad guy in Moonwalker with Michael Jackson. Did you know that? I don't know. Most people don't know that, but Joe Pesci's a great actor. So I liked him in Goodfellas, Casino, Moonwalker, Home Alone 1 and 2. Oh, the second one was better. Oh, the second Home Alone was better. Oh, my favorite scene in the second Home Alone was the tool chest falling down the stairs. And the 2 men, they got their ears to the door. The tool chest is falling down the stairs, and it hits them. Boom! What's that sound? That's the sound of a tool chest going down the stairs. I just love Home Alone 2. And to me, it was better than the first one. Al Pacino, good any mob movie. Al Pacino, yes. Scarface. I love Al Pacino. The Devil's Advocate, where he plays the devil. Oh, that's a good movie. He played another movie called Simone. It's about artificial intelligence. That was made 20-some years ago. And that's actually come true. Talking about AI, have you people, artificial intelligence is now hit live rock concerts. You think it's live, it is, and it isn't. Have you people heard of the ABBA experience in London? ABBA Voyage? They built this theater, and what ABBA did is they created these avatars, these digital avatars, and they perform every night in London. At least their avatars do. And you think it's them. It is, and it isn't. It's really cool what they're doing with AI. Yeah, an AI rock concert. True. The ABBA experience in London. Look it up. Look it up. It's a real thing. The tickets are sold out for the next 3 years. They have to build 4 more theaters. And you can bet other rock and roll bands and pop music bands are looking at that and going, if ABBA can do it, put their digital avatars on the stage in their prime. Because the members of ABBA are all in their 70s. So the avatars you're seeing are in their mid to late 30s in their prime, performing all their hits. I mean, it's not a hologram, it's a digital avatar. You should watch the behind the scenes of how they did that. Oh my gosh, the amount of work, and now they're updating it with AI. It's like, yeah, an AI rock and roll concert. It's a real thing in London. The ABBA experience. Look it up. It's real. I'm not. Al Pacino good in any mob movie? Yeah, he was in Scarface, but I think that was his only mob movie. Didn't he play in another one? I don't remember. But Scarface, that's what he's known for. Well, I loved him in The Devil's Advocate. I thought that was a good movie. Ex Machina may become true soon. I'll have to look that up. Let's see. This is Jason. There's Jason again. Jason seems like well put together. He made different life choices. So my question to all of you is, what life choices are you willing to make? Are you going to be Willem? AI was in Godfather 2. Al wasn't. Oh, Al Pacino. Godfather. Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely correct. Forgot about that. Yes. Al Pacino was in Godfather 1, 2, and 3. Absolutely. He's probably been in a few other movies too. I've seen him in The Devil's Advocate, Simone, Scarface, and I did see him in The Godfather. What else did he play in? I don't know. But he's a really good actor. He's got a few good movies I really like. Well, we got 7 people in here. It is warm in here. Next time I do a live stream, you need to bring a fan so I can cool off. Because it gets hot in here. That's why I'm wearing my leather jacket. It's right here. It's just too daggum hot. I am going to do a hard copy edition of this. And because the topic originally was sub 5 men. The problem is once you're there, if you don't do anything to change it, you're not going to amount to anything. If you just do nothing, sit at home, play video games, you're not going to amount to anything. And that's what I'm so upset with these incels and geomaxing. It's where they move to another city, county, country. That doesn't solve anything. It solves nothing. My software has AI audio leveling. It put my voice at 20%. I have to reshoot the whole video now. Huh. Yeah, this live stream did being done with a laptop. I've got this microphone turned on, which is probably why you can hear me real loud. I got to be careful. This thing picks up. And a Canon EOS M50. That's my camera that I'm using. To do hard copy, I usually use the iPad. I got my phone back, by the way. It's running. It's working. There was moisture in the port, and I tried everything to fix it. And I took it to cell phone repair. Cost me $60. Took them 10 minutes. I have my phone back up and running. Huh. $60 for 10 minutes. Water fight are fun to do on hot days and watermelon. I agree. I totally agree. I don't know if my brother's still in here. Liked your Wendy's food review. Thank you. This live stream allows me to interact with all of you out there. The biggest reason why I do it, even if I don't really have a topic, sometimes I totally suck at this. That's how you know I'm not AI, because I suck. At least I admit it. So I did one on selling your soul, where I talked about Jason and Willem, but not on this topic of Sub 5 Men. It didn't dawn on me until after I saw it. I'm going, they kind of portrayed Jason here handsome, good looking, and then Willem raggedy, and just even Hollywood does this. And this show is from 2010. So this is made long before Lucifer came on the scene. And it's a really good show. I'm surprised it only lasted 10 episodes. What I liked about it is it takes place in a diner, and they never leave the diner. You have to use your imagination. It's well thought out. Oh my gosh. And when I did that video, Selling Your Soul, I wanted to do a different take that the other YouTubers didn't do. I mean, I saw videos on Selling Your Soul. They talk about the music industry. They talk about how rappers and some streamers sell their soul. And this is really, so I want to give a different take on it. It's not necessarily selling your soul, which that is a real thing, by the way. I mean, you look at that Bob Dylan interview. Yeah, there are people who admit they actually sold their souls. It's a real thing. Because I found that video of this girl who says she walked away from a record deal. So we may play that and do a video reaction. Because one person commented, Jeremiah, you just play other people's videos. Well, that's what all the YouTubers do. A lot of them do that. They'll play a video and they'll do commentary. But selling your soul, yeah, that's a real thing. Now, you could do it metaphorically too, by compromising your principles. Like this man, Jason, what he was willing to do to cure his son's leukemia. So you think people don't sell their souls? Well, look at the content creators, not just YouTube, but on any social media platform. Does it seem like the content's getting more and more extreme? They're trying to outdo themselves. Everybody's competing for eyeballs. A lot of women sold their soul to Harvey Weinstein for fame. Yeah. Yeah. There is an AI software called Nexus Clip that edits your live stream into a bunch of separate videos. Oh, you mean like what's that? Katy Perry said she would not be surprised me if Taylor Swift did too. Yeah, Katy Perry sold her soul. Nexus, there's another program like it where it takes your video and creates shorts. I've got a program that I've got all these templates to create 30-second shorts or 15-second shorts. All I have to do is insert the photo and change the music. If I don't change the music, because sometimes they play copyrighted music that's supposed to be copyright free, so I found some music that really is copyright free and I have to add it. But the only pictures I can find that will get clicks and views are my late wife. Yeah, I've gotten past her, but I got to upload something. So I just stick pictures of Nicole in there, insert the photos, change the soundtrack, and I got a YouTube short. I got this program. It's got all these templates, and I paid like $40 for the year. So I can create all kinds of 15-second shorts. Oh, Katy Perry. She would not be surprised. She would not be surprised me if Taylor Swift did too. Yeah, Taylor Swift. I don't know how. Have you thought about doing a topic on Casey, the top 40 radio guy from the 80s, since some people like music? Well, I know who Casey Kasem is. He was out. Did you know that Casey Kasem was the voice of Shaggy on Scooby-Doo? He voiced one of the Super Friends too, I think. I think he was Robin on the Super Friends. So he was Shaggy on Scooby-Doo, but I also think he played Robin on the Super Friends. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think Robin's voice. Holy cat mix Batman. No, I think it's Casey Kasem. But I do know that he did America's Top 40. I really liked his countdowns in the 80s. Oh my gosh. He was one of the most influential people in the music business. Basically, he was powerful enough. Him, Dick Clark, Wink Martindale, and possibly Pat Boone. But I know him and Dick Clark and Wink Martindale were the most powerful men in the music business. Either of those three men. I heard a story where this guy, he was he was a guitarist. He's trying to get discovered as a rock star. And for 10 years, he performed at this local venue. Then one night, Casey Kasem was in the audience, heard him, got him a record deal. All because Casey Kasem was there. Also, Casey Kasem didn't like you, your career was over. You're done. Casey Kasem also played Mark, Battle Planet's very funky sci-fi anime. Didn't know that. But I know he was Shaggy on Scooby-Doo. Where Are You? Good animated series. Matter of fact, of all the Scooby-Doos, that one is the most popular of them all. Ralph Macchio movie Crossroads was about a guitarist that sold his. So yes, I need to watch that movie. Have you ever covered The Miracle over the Mojave? Never heard of it. Love Casey and Dick Clark. Have you seen The Miracle? I have to look that up. Miracle over the Mojave. I have to look it up. Love Casey and Dick Clark. Yeah, didn't he also do TV's bloopers and practical jokes? And Dick Clark did the New Year's Rockin' Eve every year. Yeah, Dick Clark's heavy. That's another one of the most powerful men in the music business. At one time, him, Casey Kasem, Wink Martindale, either of those three men would either make you or break you. Now, I don't know who today has that much power and influence, but back in the day, those three men, absolutely. Oh man. Miracle over the Mojave. I don't know what that is. Now, this character here, Ryan Seacrest, is the version of them these days. Is he? Okay. I was not sure who today. That sounds about right. I believe it. Because I was like, who today is in the music business powerful enough to make or break somebody? Now, this woman here, I forgot the character's name. Oh. But her husband had Alzheimer's. So she goes to see the man. He tells her to kill a bunch of people. And she ends up not doing it. And her husband gets cured of Alzheimer's anyway. So even when they don't carry out the task, sometimes the wish gets fulfilled because they passed some kind of test of character. And the man, once I watched it again, I figured out that I don't think he has much or any superpowers at all. I think a lot of the task he assigns them is cause and effect. Basically, he'll assign them a task which would cause them to make their wish come true. I don't know. That's my interpretation. Do you think this man is more of a Benny Hinn? Talking about Benny Hinn. No, Benny Hinn's a total fraud. This man is not a fraud. He's not taking anybody's money. Benny Hinn, now talk about selling your soul. Talk about what would you do to protect a loved one? What would you do for a family member who may be dying of cancer or something like that? What are you willing to do? I think you, the hanger, would be good at covering paranormal subjects. You are very good out of the box takes. Well, my take on this series is this man is kind of like Guinan on the Enterprise. He listens to these people. These people come in and they have stories to tell this man. And he's asking questions, engaging them. They have to get progress reports. It's not much different than Guinan on Star Trek. When the person comes into 10 Forward, they dump all their problems on Guinan. And she just listens. And says something every once in a while. Does Guinan have powers? Well, supposedly, yes. Because Q kind of favored her. Paranormal subjects. Yeah, I could. I love the paranormal. I do. I watch Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction. Everyone's show. That's also worth checking out. Because they have 5 stories. Is it fact or fiction? And I sometimes have a hard time determining which is real, which isn't. What about skin? I know what skinwalkers are. Yes. I do know what skinwalkers are. Start the Next Generation series. It was. Skinwalkers. What's the name of that ranch? What's the name of that ranch? It's famous for skinwalkers. Very famous ranch next to Area 51. It's a very famous place. Can't think of it. Come on, One Wing Donut. What's the name of that ranch? Very famous. Talk about skinwalkers. Is it called Skinwalker Ranch? Literally? I guess so. I thought it had a different name, but I guess it is Skinwalker Ranch. I streams every week now. I don't know if my brother's still in here. Jonathan Franklin's good host on Fact or Fiction. I love Fact or Fiction. Beyond Belief, yes. Good show. I love his puns. Every episode of Fact or Fiction, he had his puns. I'm still going to do a hard copy edition of this episode. Like I said, this woman here, her husband had Alzheimer's, and she didn't carry out the task. But what did you think of the show, Believe It or Not? Believe It or Not show, Believe It or Not. Oh, Ripley's Believe It or Not. Oh. I haven't seen that in a long time. I have to go check it out again. I know what it is. Ripley's Believe It or Not. Matter of fact, there used to be a Ripley's Museum in Branson, Missouri. It's hot and muggy in here. We've been on an hour and 16 minutes. And I still got 8 people in here. I'm trying to rebuild my channel. I met Franks at Dragon Con. He is a very chill, funny guy. I met the guy who played Q. Does your Padre do well in this heat? You mean my cat? I don't know. I met Franks. I've been to a couple Star Trek conventions. I met the guy who played Q, Robin Curtis, Gene Roddenberry's wife, who played Lwaxana Troi, Nurse Chapel. Who else did I meet? I met a couple of the cast of DS9 at another convention. Oh, I met Tuvok. I met Tuvok at a Star Trek convention from Star Trek Voyager. I remember meeting somebody. It was Tuvok. Yeah, he was in Springfield. I missed the latest convention. They had John Schneider and John Glover. They had a few other people too, but Schneider and Glover were the 2 biggest celebrities they had from Smallville. Let's see. So my subscriber count is slowly going back up. I figured it would. It just, when I left the black pill, and then I said, well, these are the type of videos that I had to think long term. The problem with content, even selling your soul, the problem with content creators, some of them, they get caught in this loop. They make a video, it goes viral, so they think I have to put out that kind of content all the time. Even if it's content they don't firmly believe it, but they get stuck. So they keep repeating themselves. And it's kind of like, if I keep making content about woe is me, boo-hoo-hoo, I'm going, yeah, I get views, but that's not who I am. I may have felt that way at the time, but I don't feel that way anymore. I moved past that. I said, I want to make more positive videos. I met the guy who played Tuvok. Yes, I did too. He came to a Star Trek convention about a few years back. I got to meet Tuvok. I own a real Voyager script that Tim Russ also autographed. Had. I don't have any autographed scripts, but I got to meet John Delancey, who played Q. I've met Robin Curtis, Gene Roddenberry's wife, and Tuvok, and a couple of other people. I don't remember who they were. Who was there was another Star Trek celebrity I met. From I think she was on Enterprise. Or was it Voyager? It's been so long, I don't remember now. I do remember meeting Tuvok. And no, I didn't take any selfies. My sister went to a convention. She met from Supernatural. She met Death and got a selfie. So I know they do that. My late wife got some selfies with a lot of the wrestlers. We paid a lot of money for those meet and greet tickets. If you are a sub 5 guy, you better have 6 figures. I'm going to Walmart to pick up a few WWE figures tomorrow. What about WWE? My late wife was a big fan. We went to an event. Our tickets were expensive because she wanted the meet and greet tickets. If you've never been to a meet and greet at WWE, it's worth $1,000 you pay. I think it was $1,100 for us. But you got all the wrestlers. There's like 10 of them or 12. And then you walk in this room and they have these tables set up, kind of like in the Comic Con. You go in there, there's a room and all these vendors would have their tables set up, right? Well, that's kind of what the meet and greet was like. All the wrestlers would be sitting at their table, autographing their pictures. You get to take a photo op. You pay money for this, and all the proceeds went to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. We only could afford the one time. So I treated her the one time. I had to be a good husband. You pay for your wives. Yes, being married can cost you money. Trust me. Considering dating a blind girl, hope she can see a relationship with me. Ha, 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 ha. That's a good one. I got that one. I got that one. Hope she can see a relationship. That's good. That's a good one. JW Durbin, I've been watching your shorts. I love your puppet. So far, I got 9 people still. There really is a blind woman who texts me. A blind woman who, yeah, that's possible. I can see how a blind person might text you. They have computer technology. They can speak into it, you know. I'm considering adding a voice to my AI program. My co-pilot. I met beautiful Bobby at the Civic Center. He was at the food stand. Let's go back to Facebook. What else? There have been a few other characters that I didn't talk about because it's too much detail. But you got to watch the show. This woman here, she ends up becoming, well, if you watch the last couple episodes, she takes over the man's job. She starts off as a waitress, and then she gets hold of the book, and the man, he wants something too, so she gives him a task. She's the series ended, so we don't know anything about the man, who he is. Anything about this girl is the Jason and Willem 5 episodes arc, season 1, or season 1. It's in season 1. That story arc is season 1. And I think season 1 is better than season 2, in my opinion. I need to rewatch season 2, see if I can pick something up, see something, because the story arc between Jason and Willem really struck me. But it's still that way in Hollywood. It's kind of like you have a beautiful princess and the evil stepmother. The Brothers Grimm, oh my gosh, the fairy tales they wrote, where if you're ugly, you're seen as evil, you're seen as bad, you're seen as man or woman. Meanwhile, the beautiful people are seen as beautiful prince, the handsome prince, the beautiful princess, and the ugly woman is seen as a wicked old witch. No, if you read the Brothers Grimm, read their stories. I mean, it's right on the money. Attractive people do better in life. There is a lot of truth in that. Do looks matter? Yeah, I did a video called "Do Looks Matter." I should do a live stream just on that subject alone, because the movie "The Devil Wears Prada" is all about that. And we as people, I mean, look at social media. Who gets all the hearts and likes? Who climbs up the ladder? The halo and horn effect. Yes, Russell, that's correct. There is a thing called the halo effect. The horn effect, that's a good one. Good one, Russell. Yes, the horn effect. That's a good one. I have to write that down. If there's a halo effect, there has to be the opposite, right? The horn effect. So what's happening with Willem is the horn effect. The horn effect more or less is the Matthew effect. When it comes to the halo and horn effect, to those who have, much will be given. To those who have not, much will be taken. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. The halo effect, the horn effect. I've never heard that term. I'm going to use it. Thank you, Russell. I'm going to use that. I've never heard that term before. The horn effect. Oh, I should make a whole video, title it "The Horn Effect." Talk about Willem. Yes, that's a good idea. Oh. You know what? I'm going to take a picture. Camera. Come on. Got a picture of it. Took a picture of it. I'm glad to help. Thanks, Russell. I'm going to use that. No, I'm really going to use that. That's a good title. I'm going to make a hard copy of this video, which is a non-live stream. That means that I'm going to shoot it with the iPad and keep my talking points brief and to the point. Whereas here, I'm conversating with the audience here. You're the audience. I'm trying to engage the audience. I use live streams to do that very thing. Even if I don't have a topic, my biggest reason for live streaming is to rebuild my channel, build it back up, and engage my audience so I can have a conversation. I don't even know if my brother's still in here. David, are you still there? No, he's probably with Angel Gotti, John Gotti's daughter. Yeah, he takes off at 8 o'clock. Oh, my brother does this live stream with Angel Gotti. Classic cars are cool to talk about. No one really talk about them on YouTube like the history of old cars. Can you do a video on classic cars someday from the 50s and 60s or airplane? Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. But if you want to talk about classic cars, there is somebody on YouTube that does it. Jay Leno. Check out Jay Leno. Jay Leno's Garage. Check it out. He does. He's the expert at it. Do you think I could find audience at like 10 a.m. Well, I got my live stream every Sunday night at 7. Same time, same place. Kind of like Johnny Carson, right? You knew when Johnny Carson was going to be on. Same time, same place. That's how you build your audience. So you got to pick your day, pick your time, and stay with it. JW, if you're going to do it, stay with it. Same time, same place every week. So I know when you live stream. I can't join your live stream if you just do it randomly. It's different every week. I can't catch you. But if you say 10 a.m. every Friday morning, I'm there. Same time, same place. SR-71, the fastest plane ever at Mach 3. Huh. Okay. Oh, thank you. I checked it. Yes, Jay Leno. Jay Leno's Garage. You want classic cars? He is the expert. I had mad success one night Tuesday around 3 a.m. You got to pick your time. Pick a time and stay with it every week. That's what I'm doing. Be consistent every week. Okay, we're back on Facebook. Let's go back to my regular Facebook. Now let's go to KY3. No, that's not what I wanted. KY3. No, let's go. I wanted KY3. We're going over the news stories here. We just had a big storm here, but nothing much out here. St. Jude's Dream Home. Yeah, the problem with that dream house, you have to be rich to even enter the contest. Because you have to be able to pay the taxes, maintenance, insurance, all that stuff. Breaking news, 2 killed after firefighter shot responding to fire in North Idaho. That's not local. Ooh. Power outages spread across Springfield. I did a story on that. Thousands without power across Ozarks following Sunday's severe storms. We didn't get shit out here. It thundered a little bit. We didn't get shit. Storm update. Storm update. Storm update. It's all about the storm. 3 a.m. is the witching hour. Well, we're done with Facebook. Nothing on there but storms. Apparently in Springfield, there's a lot of power outages. The problem with power outages can last for days. Why? We don't have enough repairmen to restore power. We have a labor shortage. We do. So these people could be out for days. If we lose power here in the Ozarks, we're out for days because there's a labor shortage. We don't have repairmen to fix the power lines. We don't. There is a massive shortage in that skill. It's sad. It's bad enough there's a labor shortage. People ain't showing up for work at any job, but when you got to have your power turned back on, and instead of hours, it's now days to get your power turned back on. And I talked to somebody recently. It's going to get worse. Days will become weeks. So if the power goes out, you may be out for several weeks. Why? We don't have anybody to fix the power lines. We have to call in people from all over the state. It could take hours. Now days. Now it takes days. So the people in Springfield could be out for 3 or 4 days. It's not 3 or 4 hours. It's several days. They're going to have to wait to get their power turned back on. Yeah, that's where we're at now. So living in the Ozarks, the downside is when you go without power, you could be out for a long time. We just don't have the work crews to fix them. We don't. They're either retired or the young Gen Zers just don't want to do it. We don't have enough workers to do it. Oh, we're getting ready to lose our camera. We're going to have to call it a good night. So it's hard to say au revoir. So, au gratin. The camera's getting ready to go. I saw it in black. Yep. We're getting ready to lose our camera. So, we're going to have to say good night, everybody. Au gratin, everybody. Au gratin. Au gratin. Adios, au gratin.